Hello,
Hello.
everybody, and welcome back. The WaffleBran Podcast. Here,
We're here. We're alive. I'm alive.
we're alive. He's alive. He's not dead yet. Possibly
Barely.
later on. But as for now, Waffles is currently living, and I am as well. And we have returned, trying to keep up the schedule we have, as we successfully have done it. We're on time,
Trying to. I
at
almost
least
got
on the
knocked out
day.
by sickness. If I sound a little funny, it's because I'm a little stuffed up. So I'm as alive as possible, but it's not gonna stop me from talking about random things with my boy Bran.
Once again, welcome back. We are here and ready to talk about whatever we decide to go ranting off of. We have our main topic today, but as it standardly goes, it can go anywhere with somebody going off on a random topic at this point.
It literally is gonna go anywhere because I think we've decided we're gonna be talking about anime, which
We'll
boy, that
see
can
where this
go a
goes. I
lot
have
of
no idea.
places.
The last time we did this, again, I'm referencing old episodes that are that aren't really available, possibly. But the last time we did this, it was with a couple of friends of ours. And I had no input because at the time I really did not have an input on what was going on. So
You were an anime virgin, so to speak.
in a way, yeah. So
You had no idea what even anime was. I think we tried to show you some anime, but we didn't get very far.
no, we
I
didn't get
think
too far on it. But
I tried to have you watch Full Metal.
so welcome back. Here we go. As stated, if you were here last time, we are trying some new stuff. So things may be out of sorts because we did slightly change things again. I did have to adjust things to make it a little bit better. So there could be some issues that you see. If there is, let us know. At
If
all.
everything's broken, don't tell us. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. We're super smart and we know all the things.
Just blame
Definitely.
Waffles. That's all I have to
Just
say.
blame me.
Just blame
Yeah.
Waffles. That's all we can do.
This literally we passed off the podcast streaming part to Bran because we couldn't trust me with it. It was too much.
Actually, one thing I'm noticing this now that I enlarged the screen. What is that next to you? What is that trophy next to you?
This trophy? Oh, this is hold on, let me see if I can plug it in. This is a little white up waffle thing that my brother got me. I can't turn it on right now because I don't have the right cord for it. But it says Waffles for Chumps on it, and it's like it just glows and it's really cool and I love it.
I just noticed that right now. I'm just like, what
Yeah.
the hell is that?
It's my trophy to me from me.
Oh god.
I'd like to congratulate myself on being super cool and an anime watcher, a beautiful anime watcher who knows a lot about anime.
I like to think.
All right.
Markovian, thank you for the biddies, by the way. Thank you.
Well, I don't know where to start this because, like I said, last time that we talked about this, I had very little to no input on this topic. So, in that meantime, to give context, a lot has changed because again, that episode took place. I think it's been 2 years. It's been a year and a half at minimum.
It's been like or
something like that.
At least that long since we last talked about anime.
Which is a little bit crazy that much time has passed since we did that. But a lot has changed in the meantime.
And since then, so you willingly went and sought out anime on your own.
I wouldn't say sought out. I have watched,
stumbled into it,
watched more anime.
Fell into a podcast or not a podcast, like a phone or something, just playing anime on the street, and you were just like, "Oh my gosh, what is this newfound art form?"
So a lot has changed because I now watch anime a little more frequently than ever before, which means I've actually watched anime. That's the baseline. That was literally the baseline about 2 years ago, was that there's no anime to now where there's a little bit of anime. I'm not completely obsessed with it. I don't watch it on a daily or anything, but there is things I enjoy
Just
watching.
wait, Bran. It all starts. It starts just as a mild curiosity, and then before we know it, you're making Naruto quotes.
See, again,
to
so
the
this is
character
something where I want to go off of. Is
to
there's
Winkle Speedway.
there is so many animes out there, and there is so many different high quality that people love, and I cannot get into it. There is so I don't know why. I just cannot get
Well,
into so many of
everybody's got
the
their-
mainstream anime stuff. Like we try again, we tried to watch Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
When I didn't watch anything to get me started.
To get you started. That was the beginner's anime.
That was to get me started. And everybody loves Brotherhood, Full Metal
Yes.
Alchemist, and that's the reason why it got started. We got cut off. We never continued it after like
never
2
continued it.
episodes or something like that. I can't even
Yeah.
remember how far we even got into it. We tried, and then things happened again. That's the reason
Right.
we're back here again, is because we need to re-loop everything we've done before.
Yep.
And it never continued. In that meantime, I did start watching anime. I tried to go back and watch a couple episodes of Full Metal Alchemist. I couldn't. There was
tried to watch it
no
on your own?
chance I was getting back into it on my own.
Yeah. It just wasn't pulling you in.
Yeah,
Which is
and
well,
there's
the
so
thing
many
about
things that
anime-
like I'm finding now that it's just like everyone's like, oh, I love this, and it's all mainstream. It's all the standard
the
names, and I'm
mainstream
just
stuff,
like,
yeah.
I don't know if I can watch it.
Yes.
And it's the
well,
big
that-
names,
You know
too.
what? That's actually really. You know what? That means you're a connoisseur. That means you don't just follow the herd. You like the weird out of the way stuff, which is, in my opinion, some of the best stuff you'll find is the non-mainstream stuff. It's some of it is just it's beautiful. It is something spectacular. But the thing about anime is, I think, a lot of people, when they talk about anime, they kind of lump it all together as like one
Well,
thing.
because again, or not again, but to bring it up, like there's a North American anime style, and then there's
Right.
your traditional like Japanese kind of style anime, and a lot of people, especially in North America, who started with anime, it's a lot of North American, or Western style,
Well,
I guess.
What would
anime.
you classify as a North American style anime?
Well, like, I don't know, like I guess, kind of. No, I was gonna
Like Avatar.
Avatar. That
The
I was
Last
gonna say Avatar
Airbender.
was included.
That's about as yeah. There's definitely some kinds of.
Well, there's others that like are on
That's-
on like cartoon networks and stuff like that. Like I can't even remember because I don't watch them. So like I there's not off my top of my head. But there's like
yeah.
they're just on mainstream North American TV shows because that's the audience it portrays. But it isn't necessarily true. I would quote true kind of anime style.
Right. Yeah, it's a very different type of style. I just watched Castlevania recently, which is a very it has certain elements of anime to it because Castlevania is a Japanese series, but it's definitely Western influenced, which is it's really cool. But there is very big differences between Western style art and actual traditional Japanese anime.
And I put that in quotes too. That like it's not all fluent throughout, but just from what I noticed. Again, I can't say too much on all of it because I haven't watched enough of it to really be like, oh yeah, this and that, and point it all out in certain angles to be just like, oh yeah, that's traditional or that's westernized or this one's better, or this is by this studio. Like there is no chance in hell that you show me a picture and I can tell you where it came from. Like I couldn't do that. There's so many people that can do that, and I'm just like,
that's
no.
There's so many animes out
No.
there, but I think in general, the general statement that like a lot of people will just be like, when they think of anime, they think of the like shonen types, right? The you've got
See, that's another thing I can't get into.
Naruto,
you've got One Piece, you've got Dragon Ball, you've got all those kind of like you've got My Hero Academia, you know, those kind of um what they call shonen animes, which there's a constant progression of fighting and powers, and it slowly over the course of time gets like the main character gets stronger and stronger, and they fight progressively harder bad guys and stuff over the course of 500 episodes.
Yeah, so that's something I've noticed and I've started to find out the genres I like in anime. Shonen is not one of them. Shonen is not one of them by a mile.
Yeah. Shonen isn't really my bag either. I've watched a few of them. There is some I've definitely watched most of them except for One Piece. Haven't touched One Piece yet. It just doesn't really appeal to me. There's really like if it's an anime with like 1,000 episodes and the main character is still the same exact guy at episode 1,000 as he is in episode 1, then
So
I don't want to watch it. Like I don't want to. I don't. There's nothing. There's the character hasn't changed. There's
So-
no.
So there was recently an announcement on a show, and I think the show is gonna irritates every single person that watches it, and I don't know why we are all engaged in it, but I'm gonna bring it up later. But there is a show that is exactly like that I think everybody can agree on. They fucking despise out of hell because of the main character.
Which one?
Do you want to take a guess?
Despises the main character.
It's recently announced that there's a third season coming sometime soon. It is a romance kind of anime, and I don't know why so many people watch it, and this includes myself, because it's absolutely
You're like
awful.
I've been watching it too.
No, yeah, but it's absolutely the most irritating show I've ever seen. But it's
I have
so
no
engaging,
idea.
but it's
Romance?
the most absolutely awful show. If
Now
anyone
I'm
has a guess, you can
curious.
take a guess. But
Now I have to watch this
okay.
with an irritating main character.
There's an irritating main character. The most irritating main character. It's a romance anime. There's a third season coming out. It's already had 2 seasons. The main character does not change, basically, and he irritates everyone to shit.
I don't know. There's a lot of anime like that. I mean, but
Okay.
a romance one, I don't know.
You want to take a guess?
Like-
One guess.
I
Free
freaking
shot.
have no idea.
Mainstream, kind of mainstream.
Kind of mainstream.
Like you'll know the title.
I know the title.
You should. I don't know what you.
My brain just keeps going to Demon Slayer, but that's not the main character.
No.
That is the character I find annoying in Demon Slayer is Zenitsu, which is like this annoying.
So the most
character.
annoying character ever to exist in an anime I'm finding right now is Rent a Girlfriend.
I was gonna say Rent a Girlfriend. Shit!
Yeah.
I should have gone with my instinct.
It is a third season's being announced.
I should have gone with my instinct.
It is-
I was like, no,
There-
but Rent a Girlfriend isn't very mainstream. It's not very popular. I don't think so.
Kind of. That's why I said it's
That's
kind
why I
of.
didn't go. I was just going like with the big mainstream ones. I was like, my brain immediately went Rent a Girlfriend. Like I went there immediately. As soon as you said annoying ass main character, I went to Rent a Girlfriend, and then I was like, no, that's not popular enough. That can't be what he's talking about. And then you were just like, it's Rent a Girlfriend.
It is the most like it's just announced there's a third season coming. It is
Yeah.
the most annoying
watched both
character
seasons of
in
that.
the world. And I
hate
can't
him
help
so
but watch
much. And you're just like, you watch it in the hopes that so for anybody I mean a lot of people haven't seen it. It's an anime about a dude who has no prospects. He just broke up with his girlfriend. He's kind of on the out and out with just he's super bummed out, so he tries this Japanese girlfriend dating service where he hires a girlfriend, and typical anime plot
Rents a girlfriend.
stuff,
Who would have guessed the title, eh?
typical anime plot stuff. The girlfriend he rents turns out to be his next door neighbor. So and hilarity ensues.
And that's just the baseline. Also, yes, I have colorful lights. If you have,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do this now because it makes no sense to do it. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, go check them out. I'll do my thing a little bit late after this, but before, my wall is completely blank, which it kind of still is. I have a case right there that I need to hang up, but I also set up some lights. I also, like I said, from the last episode, I bought some lights and I set them up. So now I've got colorful effects. I can change it if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave it at this right now because I like it. But because I can do this and I want to do this right now, if you haven't checked out our previous episodes, go check them out. We have ourselves on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, all in the name WaffleBran Podcast. You can guys check it out. Give us a follow. Give us a subscribe. That's where you can find all of the previous episodes if you missed any.
Yeah, did you guys like that cool graphic?
So
we've been working on that graphic, and by we I mean Bran, and it looks awesome.
And it irritates me to hell. But for context, that is the baseline of Rent a Girlfriend. Now, where it gets really annoying is there's four. So you have the main guy character, and you have four girls. So it's a romance harem anime.
It does get harem-esque. It doesn't start out that way. It doesn't start out very like a typical harem where he's just like, oh, there's a bajillion girls after me.
Yeah, so you have the main girl who is his neighbor, who's the one who he rents out, where they end up going through a shit ton of lies, and basically have to stick together. Not intentionally, they have a shit ton. They just create a bunch of problems for themselves they have to deal with now. Turns out the guy likes the girl now because they spend so much time together. So who cares? You got girl number 2.
So who cares?
You got girl number 2 who is his ex, who broke up with him at the beginning of the episode, but wants to come back into his
girl.
But wants to come back. And then you got 2 others who are part of this rent-a-girlfriend trend that
the service or whatever, yeah.
And it just collapses on itself. And turns out he starts dating one of these other rent-a-girlfriend people who he doesn't actually like, but is dating them now instead. And then, although he likes the other main character, I hate explaining it.
It just goes nuts.
It is the most annoying series to ever watch. Like you will
can't help but watch it.
Yeah,
right?
you will literally legitimately be pulling out your hair when you are watching this because of the shit that they go through. Will this get
any less annoying? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, but you can't help but watch it. Like I may be someone who's just has an issue with watching it, but like.
But you've seen the episodes.
You were
right?
legitimately torturing yourself. And I'm probably going to watch the 3rd season anyways.
And you're probably going to watch the 3rd season. Because here's the thing, right? The thing about annoying main characters is you want to see them get better. You want things to improve for them.
It won't. You know that already. It won't.
That's the thing, right?
You figured this out after the 1st season, even halfway through the 1st season. Most people will probably realize like this guy is a failure at life.
Yeah, he doesn't really develop at all. His relationships develop, and it turns out like he's good with the ladies apparently, even though he is not immediately represented as such. But no, his character pretty much does not progress the entire time. But it's like
his personality does not change. He's complete, and he's just absolutely insanely just difficult on himself because he just can't change his personality because he's just like, oh, maybe I should do this. Nah, and then just like it's the most irritating thing ever.
Him stumbling his way through all these complicated relationships of like having these girlfriends that he's rented, but he's trying to maintain the professional relationship with the rent-a-girlfriend service, but also his inner feelings of I actually like this girl.
Anyways, this all started because I'm talking about irritating characters. That's not where I thought I was going to start with this conversation, but I couldn't help but get that out because it's like one of those things that like you hate annoying characters. This is one that's annoying characters, and normally I would not want to watch it, but I don't know what it is about Rent-a-Girlfriend that just makes me stick around.
That's the crux I want to get into about. I think that's a big thing that separates why
you can't get into shonens versus you get into these other ones. Like you've seen almost no One Piece or anything like that, or any of the popular ones like Naruto, but you watch 2 seasons of Rent a Girlfriend with the most annoying, main character. Um, and that's a big difference between shonen animes and these other animes in shonen animes typically the main character is a super he has very few weaknesses, he's a very good dude, and he just wants to get stronger and protect his friends and stuff like that. And that's the crux of a lot of these shonen animes. Yeah, I mean there's definitely outliers and stuff like that that are a little different. um Seven Deadly Sins I would classify as a shonen, and all the characters are kind of fucked up in that one. But in general, in the most part, most shonens, the main character is a super nice guy, wants to get more powerful to protect those he loves, and that doesn't leave a lot of room for character growth in an anime like that. There's not a lot of room for he can't get better because he already starts out as a good person. The only way he can get better is by getting more powerful. Whereas in something like Rent a Girlfriend, the main character starts out a piece of shit.
A dumbass, not a piece of shit, a dumbass.
A dumbass. Yeah, he's a good guy, but he's really stupid.
Like it's not he's intentionally like an asshole or anything. He's not a bad person. But he just is so stupid. It's like it's the classic.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
I know it's the classic blind, dense main character.
Yeah,
multiplied by 10.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, it is the anime trope of the dumb guy.
Yeah, it is the anime trope of him being the main character being completely blind and dense and not realizing certain things multiplied by 10. And it's like
Arya brought up Makoto from Danganronpa. It's that times 10 for this character. It is the most annoying character ever. But you can't help but watch it because you want him to get less annoying. And you want things to work out for his dumb ass.
So I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much. I would talk about it for years on end because I just hate it so much. But I can't help but watch it. But I want to move on because I mean,
there's plenty to talk about in the anime world.
There is plenty to talk about, and I want to move on because I want to move on to something a little bit on the more cheery side that we recently discovered together. So, I want to talk about this first, and then I'm gonna go into things that like genres we like because I got a really weird taste in genres. I've realized that now. Maybe it doesn't seem as weird. Maybe it's not that weird, but I've got a really odd taste in genres of anime. I don't know why. But I want to start out with something a little bit better, and something we can both talk about a lot. And sticking on the romance trend, recently me and Waffles both were talking about it. Actually, it was after the last episode, after stream ended. We both figured out that there is one show that at least as of then we didn't know and now know that we really enjoy, which actually came out with a movie recently, and unfortunately neither of us got to see it, which I'm kind of sad about. But it is, you want to announce it, Waffles?
You mean Love is War? Kaguya-sama Love is War. Oh, yes. Oh, that anime.
So Kaguya-sama Love is War.
It's beautiful.
It is definitely one of
that anime is so funny.
Interesting anime. One of the most interesting anime I've seen in terms of romance.
Yeah.
It's got a very
it's really cool. So there's stereotypes in anime. There's different types of characters and stuff like that. People may be familiar with the tsundere type, where it's like, it's not like I like you or anything. Baka. Yeah. I really like Kaguya-sama Love is War because it is an anime that kind of pits the idea of, what if there were 2 tsundere characters? What if there were 2 characters that are like, it's not like I like you or anything, Baka, that were both in love with each other. And
then add a really cheery girl at the end. Dense cheery girl. Sorry.
Yeah, and then just a random cheery girl who's kind of the go-between for both of them. And it is a very interesting dynamic where they're both trying to make the other confess first because
Just
they're
watch
so
the first
prideful.
episode of the first season. You immediately understand what's gonna happen.
Yeah. They're both so prideful that they don't want to be the first one to admit that they're in love to the other person.
So
So
yeah,
they're
so
trying to trick each other into admitting.
so it's a rom-com. If you couldn't tell,
It's very
it
rom-com.
is
Yes.
a very rom-com. Again, it's not just the standard it's rom-com multiplied again, but by a bit, because it basically takes the aspect of romance and then just goes, here's comedy, in a good way though. Like it's not
Yeah,
that's the best
it's
part, is it's
crazy.
actually laid out in a really good way, because basically how it works is it's student council. It is a prestigious school that it takes place in, and all these people who are involved are part of, well, most of them are, most of the main characters, if not all the main characters, are is part of student council. Yeah, the
Yep.
student council president, the vice president, treasurer, whatever, secretary, is that what she is? The secretary? I don't even know what her title is.
Secretary, yeah, I think something like that. There's a character later that's introduced to the main council, and yeah, it's them in a prestigious school. Like
Gambling?
99% of rom-coms, they're in a high school.
What is the gambling
and they're part of the student council.
anime? What's gambling?
Arya's been well. That's a totally different. I watched that with Astra recently, and that was an interesting anime. I forgot what it's called. It's an anime about a high school.
So basically, what you're saying is I
have.
have not seen it.
Oh, I've watched it. Oh, I watched
No,
both seasons of it.
I meant me.
Oh, you have not seen it. No, if you don't understand what it is at
No, I don't
first
understand what
saying
gambling
anime,
is.
you have not seen it. Trust me.
So
It is
we'll
something spectacular.
we'll go back to things I've watched. I can't remember them all, but we'll go back to that stuff. Anyways, I want to continue on Kaguya-sama, because I think
because we got to talk about this shit.
Well, I think we should.
We got to talk about it.
I think we really should, because it's the first anime that both of us, although again
I've really watched.
there isn't a very like large sector for us to go based off of, considering that I really haven't talked about it. But it's an anime that both
It's
of us
just very interesting to me that is one of your first real like animes that you've really gotten into.
Well,
Uh,
there's exceptions, because it's not the first anime I've
minus
gotten
Rent a
really
Girlfriend.
into. Well, depends. It's the first series I've really gotten into. The first
Yeah.
actual probably anime that I got into was Hiramori.
Which one is that?
It is it is a slice of life romance. You can start seeing my trend, by the way. If you're paying attention, you can start seeing trends of why I'm starting to lead up to my.
How do you
taste in-
pronounce it?
Hiramori.
Hinomori?
Horimiya. Why am I saying Hiramori? Horimiya.
Horimiya?
Horimiya. Why I'm losing my mind, because
Horimiya. Okay, wait.
I'm losing my mind because I haven't watched. I watched that
Horimiya.
like a year ago or whatever it was.
Oh, this one. Oh yeah, I watched that recently. That one's really good.
I forgot the name of it for a second. No, yeah, Horimiya is the actual one, and it is a slice of life romance anime that I watched, and it was basically the first one that I just binged.
Okay. So what I'm getting is Bran's a rom-com lover. He loves him some rom-coms. I've got a bunch I think
it is very
can
true.
suggest to you.
It is very true that I like rom-com, and there's a list of fucking rom-coms that I probably watched already. And there's a list that I haven't watched either, because I just don't like it.
Have you Toradora?
No,
is
I
the
didn't,
king
because
of
I
rom-coms.
didn't. I don't know why I didn't watch it. I didn't even watch, like, I didn't even do the 3 episode rule. I just looked at it.
That is the creme de la creme of rom-com.
I looked at it, and I'm just like,
rom-com that all of them standardize to. Like, that is the big one.
I've heard of it, and I've seen stuff of it. I just glanced over it though. I don't know why. I might.
It's really good. You've got to give that one a chance.
I'll give it the 3 episode rule and then see what happens. Because like I said, there is a lot of main that are top of the list that I just oversee, because I just don't. I don't know why. I just can't bear to watch it.
Sir Fan, you like rom-coms too? Very wholesome. Yeah, for the most part, I like rom-coms in the fact that
They are very wholesome. Usually it's something less intense than a lot of crazier animes. It's something more relatable because everybody understands, teens in love, right? Like everybody's been there, kind of, you know, understands that whole dynamic and stuff like that. And they almost always take place in high schools. I don't know if I've seen a single rom-com that doesn't take place in a high school. I don't think there's a single, except for maybe like
I'd
maybe
have
like an isekai
I'd
where
have
it
to
goes
look.
to another
Okay,
world or
well
something.
that gets me on to my. Actually, no, I'm gonna go back to Kaguya-sama.
Okay,
Because
we'll finish our
we should
topic
finish
of
our thoughts on it.
Kaguya-sama.
Again, we go off on random things. Here we go again.
Yeah.
We're going off on random topics when we have a bajillion to talk about.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, Kaguya-sama's got a unique thing to it. And the other thing I really wanted to talk about Kaguya-sama was the difference between the subs and the sub and the dub of it. Because
Oh yeah, okay. Well,
because
that's a whole discussion in itself.
it's whole
is subbed
discussion.
anime and dubbed anime.
It's a whole discussion in itself. But where I want to
Yeah.
at least just leave it off for Kaguya-sama is that Kaguya-sama is great. It adds a slice of life rom-com to an extreme in a good way, where it provides you like with a lot of good comedy. It has a lot of good characters. The VAs are in both are great. For both the sub and dub.
the VAs are amazing.
Are amazing in it. The writing is fantastic, and where it's finished its third season. It had a movie. I don't know what the movie's like. I wish I saw it, but I didn't. But where it left off was really, really nice. It made its loop in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, the third season ended very nicely and stuff like that, and then they came out with a movie that came out on Valentine's Day. I forgot what the movie was named, but I know there was like a movie that was actually in theaters on Valentine's Day.
It's a Christmas kind of special, kind of, or like it takes place during Christmas. I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was like it was kind of an after story, or I don't know. They ended everything nicely with season 3, but they continued on with this movie that released in theaters. That was kind of supposed to be.
To be fair, they left it on a bit of a cliffhanger in season 3. Like
Yeah, a little bit.
Like
yeah.
it finished it, but like in a good way, but like it left you kind of wanting more, which the movie probably fulfilled. It's Kaguya-sama Love is War, the first kiss that never ends. That's
the first kiss that never ends.
That ends
yeah.
it, which makes sense because, and spoilers, that's technically out the final episode.
Spoiler alert! No, you hear nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just
but that's
go
kind
watch
of
it.
how
Just go watch the
like,
anime. It's really good.
If you haven't seen it, you like rom-com or romance, go watch Kaguya-sama.
I actually I uploaded there's so anybody who knows my streams, one of my very popular clips is me dancing to the Chica song from Love is War.
Didn't that just get uploaded on Instagram or something?
TikTok. We tried to upload it to Instagram, but the copyright said no. So
Should
it's
I
on
find
TikTok.
it and play it? Should I find it and play it?
Me dancing the Chica dance, and it's my most popular video on TikTok so far.
Does anybody want to see it?
Says.
Does anybody want to?
No, they don't want to see it. No,
I can go find it.
Oh god, that I hate that that's floating around like out there. I was watching Love is War at the time that I did that. I was streaming a JRPG, the Tales of Berseria, I think, and I was watching Kaguya-sama, and I had just seen the episode where at the end of the episode, one of the main characters does like this goofy little dance, and it's like choreographed really nicely, and I really liked it. And during my stream, I forgot what led to it, but I put on a wig and I started dancing to the song because I don't know what the heck came over me. I just, sometimes the mood strikes me and I would just want to put on a wig and dance to anime music. So what of it?
So what?
And now I am ashamed to say that that is floating out there somewhere.
It exists. If you want to go see it, you can probably go find it. Not hard to probably find it.
Are you trying to find it right now?
Well, I am, and I think it's on TikTok.
I see you looking down at your
But like,
phone.
I don't want to open TikTok.
Fair. That is true. I want to go into YouTube Shorts and put it there too and stuff like that because I know a lot of people who watch me don't use TikTok and stuff. So
I don't like TikTok.
yeah, the fact that that's one of my most favorite videos is terrifying.
That's great. It's hilarious, honestly. Like,
Yeah, no, I don't like it. I don't want it.
why
I
don't you
want
like it,
out there.
Waffles?
Because now I'm just gonna be the dancing anime boy, the dancing anime wig boy.
The dancing anime wig.
But there's a lot of like good rom-coms out there, and I think they're very wholesome, and they're very very comforting for the most part. Subs versus dubs. You were saying what were you saying about?
That
We kind of got off on a tangent. Um,
I'd
with me
scream
and the Chica dance.
blacked
But
out
what were
there.
you talking about with the subs and dubs thing?
Yeah. The one exception, and one of the exceptions is that, like, not very commonly, but for Kaguya-sama Love is War, it is definitely one of the ones that I highly rate listening to the dub at some point. Like, it doesn't have to be your first watch of it. You can stick with the sub to watch it, but at some point, I would, if you like the show, go back and watch it in the English version, because the comedy that it adds just, I feel like it adds just a little bit more to the show, because it adds that sense of humor that is already in that show, and the voice actors or the way it's scripted just adds a little bit more, because it makes it, to someone who speaks English, more comprehensible in a way.
Yeah.
And the jokes just hit a lot better.
I feel that so in general, I think the consensus is a lot of people like subs more than dubs. I don't, maybe that's not true, but from what I've gathered so far is a lot more people like subs than dubs. Um, but with like, here's the thing, I think one big problem with dubs in general with anime is that um, you're constricted to the animation was designed around the subs, around the Japanese voiceovers, whereas when you dub it, it's the opposite way around. The voice actors are constrained to the animation, so they have to talk around the animation, and they have to be like whatever this character is mouthing and come up with a sentence that fits whatever the character is saying in a different language, which is not an easy thing to do. And honestly, the better animated the anime is, the harder it is to make it dubbed, because their mouths get like more more detailed in what they're saying. So the better the animation is, the worse the dubs get. And I love Kaguya-sama, and I think it works out well there with the dubs, because a lot of the dubs is just a narrator in the background. A lot of the voice is just like a
And he
dude in the
adds a sense
background
of
being
comedy
like,
too.
and
Like,
this is what they are thinking.
like, he adds a real sense of comedy in both
Yeah.
versions too.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
like a guy in the background
So-
who's like,
So I found
and
it.
she had never planned for this possibility.
So I found the dance.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna play it with the audio,
Oh no, yeah, because it will get muted.
but I am gonna play it.
It 100% will get copyrighted.
Yeah, it's gonna get copyrighted. Oh, it's.
You've just added a browser source.
I added a browser source. Yes, I did. Thanks.
Browser sources let you display a web page from the internet. Go figure. Oh no.
Oh, it's playing.
The music is playing. No. I'll talk over it, so that way it won't get copyright struck. Blah 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 blah. You can't hear it at all.
I don't know why it was doing that. That's really annoying. You know what? We'll just do this instead.
I hope that worked.
I don't know. That was quite loud. I don't know
I
why
don't
it was
know.
playing so loud.
Japanese companies are really aggressive about ensuring that their stuff is protected. So they're very do not want anybody playing the Chica dance.
No, not really, not at all.
How many views does it have now? No idea. I don't know. I couldn't be bothered to go onto my own TikTok at the moment.
Oops.
So who knows?
I'm playing around with stuff, so looks really
Just click on
funny.
random things until it works.
Well, okay, I've got the solution for it. Okay. Here we go. Nope, that's
What?
not the one. There we go. That's the one.
There we go. We got it.
That's the one.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. A little bit scuffed, but here's Waffles doing the dance.
Oh no, no, why no. No. No, 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 that's okay. Don't put my face. Just yeah, actually minimize it some more. Minimize it even farther so that nobody sees me. It's a really fluid animation actually. Like they definitely put some trackers on somebody and had them dance to it. And I
This is
liked
just
the
an ending
animation
too.
and I like the song.
It's not even like this is like an intro or anything. It's just an ending to it. It's just it's they just
one
added
song
it.
they play at one point for no reason and then they never talk about it again.
Like-
Me just trying to keep up with a professional Japanese dancer is it's painful to watch. It's painful for me to watch. Oh god. The Chica
Like-
dance is from the private birthday VOD because Waffles kept doxing himself. Fair. Well, it's on TikTok now, so it's floating around out there at this point.
But yeah, it's like that. That's just they added that just out of the blue. Here you go. Here's the dance of some kind of. That's just like, well, here you go, and it's like
Yeah, it's really high production. And
it has no.
Yeah, we could do this.
It has no point in the story though. Like that's the thing. Is
Well-
it's an extra value. Like it shows Chica who this is her personality, but like
Yeah.
story wise or like anything else, it just doesn't add any value because it's at the end of an episode. I think it's at the end of an episode. I think that's what it is. I can't remember exactly, but it's at an end of an episode. It's just Chica dancing. It's just basically like bye.
Bye. See you later.
And they spent time on it just because it's something interesting.
Well,
they didn't have
because
to.
that's how animes really sell their stuff, right? They don't.
But-
If you can throw promotional material out there for your anime of a cute girl dancing, oh, they doing it. Oh,
and
they
and
doing
it popped
it.
off too. Like it's in fairness, it popped off.
Exactly.
But like they didn't have to, and there's a lot of series that would just go, here's your ending screen, bye, kind of thing, and people would be
Yeah.
satisfied. It's just
Oh yeah.
they
Well,
added
they
more.
would all love to, I'm sure, but if you've got the money to do it, then yeah, put it out there and have a cute anime girl dancing, and your stuff sells infinitely more in Japan because man, do they love cute anime girls dancing over there. And you want some promotional material for your anime? There you go. There you go. Just Chica dance, and that's why the song is so copyright. That's why it's so heavy on the copyright and stuff like that, is because they're like, that's ours. We want to sell this anime, and we're gonna use that Chica dance to do it. we're gonna use that Chica dance and sell our anime, and it worked because it's a really popular anime, and not just because of the Chica dance, obviously, but because it's a freaking good anime.
I'm gonna have to go watch that. Watch the VOD back again because I don't know if that actually played. I don't know if the way I have my thing set up.
It did. It did. It showed your whole. It showed your whole.
No, but I don't know if
desktop,
it played
but-
through OBS because it may have only played to us.
Did it play to you guys? Did you
don't
guys
know.
see it in stream, or did you guys see it a lot? I'm looking at the Discord. I'm not actually looking at stream. I'm looking at what Bran is showing me in Discord right now. So if it did not show
I'm gonna
to
have
you
to watch
guys
the
in
VOD back
stream,
on. I
let
don't know
us
if it actually played. But
We saw. Surfan says
but
we
did you
saw.
hear the audio? That's the question. Was there any? Yeah. Okay.
They didn't hear the audio.
So I could have played it like that, if it didn't give me some kind of stupid prompt. But I think the way I have my audio set up, it didn't play it through the audio.
Okay, good.
Because
Okay,
I
that's good. That's
I
what we
set up
wanted.
my audio in a different way than Waffles has. Because if you did that, you would have probably had to go through your stream.
Yeah.
But I
Oh wait,
didn't.
so when I was saying like you guys can't hear it,
They
blah,
were
blah,
just
blah,
hearing you
was
yelling.
there nothing playing?
There was
and they were
nothing
just like,
playing.
Why
It was
is
just you
Waffles talking so loudly? Why is he being an idiot right now?
You know what?
Because I thought you guys could hear the video.
If that's
playing.
actually true, somebody's got to clip that, and I'm gonna definitely post it. That is a great out of context. Just post.
You guys can't hear anything. Waffles is talking. Very
No one can hear
loudly.
anything at all.
To be fair, that's like half of my stream content. Waffles is talking loudly. You can't hear game.
Anyway, kind of moving on from that. So I want to move on from that and kind of continue on with kind of our anime talk. So something I was talking about was basically I got a weird taste in kind of in my sense of anime. One is
I wouldn't say rom-com
is rom-com. Well, no, the mixture is weird. Not the one genre. The mixture is kind of weird.
Your mixtures of genre. So we got rom-com.
So we got rom-com. We got standard romance, slice of life romance, not just rom-com, slice of life romance. You want to add fantasy and isekais to that list.
Fancy?
Fantasy.
Oh, I thought you said fancy.
Fantasy.
Fancy anime is only for the greatest of anime connoisseurs. I'd like to drink a fine wine while I watch my fancy anime.
No, fantasy slash
isekais.
Because
all right.
Because I don't know why.
Oh, that's a very popular genre right now.
I don't know why I like isekais, but isekais are good. But I also hear
popular.
like I know it's popular, but
many of
so many people also like shit on isekais as well.
Well, because it's like one plot hook that is like it's one plot hook that is defined an entire genre of anime, which is just insane that you can have an entire genre just based on a starting plot hook of I got sucked into a different world.
So
hey, gentlemen.
So do you want we were talking about this earlier. You don't know a rom-com that doesn't happen in a school, right?
Yes.
So here's your rom-com that doesn't happen in a school is an isekai.
Well, that's what I was saying. Other than isekais.
Oh, other than isekais? Okay.
Remember when I was talking about that earlier.
Right,
I was like,
you did say
I don't know of a single rom-com that doesn't happen in school, and then I went, other than isekais.
Because isekais really nail that stuff as well.
Yes.
They really hammer on the idea of...
There's a few... Yeah, there's some isekai rom-coms that are really... I mean, technically you could almost classify Sword Art Online as a rom-com in a way... type slightly at some points in the anime, but yeah, isekais are a huge genre. There's just they might as well be an entire separate category of anime with their own subgenres inside of them. It's like insane. For anybody who doesn't know, isekai is the anime where a character gets sucked into another world, almost always like based off of fantasy video games.
Over the Moon is quantified as comedy? I guess it kind of is. I'm going through Crunchyroll's list of rom-coms.
Oh, I can name a whole bunch for you. There's Toradora. There's How to Train a Boring Girlfriend. That's another good rom-com.
Two of them there aren't on here yet.
Really? They don't have How to Train a Boring Girlfriend?
Not on the top of the list.
No way. That's a pretty popular one.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess at a couple? Let me go down this. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I know Toradora is up there. Are you talking about like most popular rom-com animes?
I want to sort this in a different way. No, this is sorted by popularity. This is an awful list. So going off of Crunchyroll's just basic list, this is an awful. This is an awful list to go off of. Tomo-chan is a girl. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagari. How do you pronounce Nagarito?
That's not a rom-com.
Apparently that is. It's
Oh yes. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the wrong one. Yeah, it is a rom-com. Yes, I know what that was. That one's really
Tonakawa Over the Moon. Kaguya-sama.
Yep.
ReZero.
Yep.
Defrag.
Really
I've never heard of Defrag.
Defrag's an older one.
Masayama Kun's Revenge.
Don't know if I remember that one.
I know what that one is. Quintessential Quintuplets. A couple of
Nagatoro
Cuckoos,
is a very funny rom-com.
Rent a Girlfriend.
Rent a Girlfriend. Yep.
That's an awful list.
We just watched
My
Dress Up Darling. I just watched recently, which is really, really good. I love the characters in that. The heroine, the female protagonist, is really cute in that one.
Where was I going with this?
The animation style is amazing. I don't know. You were just starting to list off rom-coms on Crunchyroll, and I was like, I'm down. Let's go.
I have no idea. Again, I don't know why I went off on a tangent on something else, but anyways, yes, isekais.
You pulled the waffles for a second there.
Isekais, rom-coms, kind of
supposed to keep us on
standard
track,
fantasy.
Bran.
Well, that's why I brought us back to on track, and now you're taking me off track again.
Okay, so we were talking about isekais, where you get sucked into a different world, and there is a whole
Truck-kun,
subgenre.
that's all you
of
need to
those.
know.
Huh?
Truck-kun.
Truck-kun, right? Oh yeah. So there's a plot device that's almost always used in an isekai, and they make fun of it constantly, is because the main character in an isekai always gets hit by a truck for some reason. That's the way they're always pulled into a different world, is they get hit by a truck, they die, and suddenly they're in another world in some way, shape, or form.
There's been a few out now where they just bypass that and say the guy died. I've noticed that now.
There's some that are just like, I'm alive in another world and I died.
Well, there's been, I don't know if it's more frequent, but there's just so many that I've watched now where it's just like they've skipped past explaining it and just said, you died.
Yeah.
Here's the rest of the story.
There's some that are so weird in that they shouldn't even be isekais. Like, the character is part of a different world, but they adapt so well that they might as well be a part of that world anyways. And there's literally nothing to do with them being a part of the human world at all.
I think the thing that pulls me in with isekais the most is how ridiculously stupid it is. Because half the time, if not all the time, 90% of the time, isekais are, this person gets pulled in, here's how overpowered they are. And it's just like, what?
They're always broken as hell. Yeah, and they're always super powerful.
And everybody knows it too, that it's such a meme that that's the case. That in the isekai, they basically say, am I overpowered? And you either get a yes or a no. They literally make it fun of it in isekais because of how stupid and how common it is.
Yeah, I think I what was the one I just watched recently? What the heck was it? I forgot what the name of it was, but it's a guy who gets isekai'd and he goes to a different world. And he's like a really big fan of like medieval strategy, and he reads Machiavelli and stuff like that, and he knows a lot about medieval strategy and things. He's like pretty much a history buff, and he gets isekai to another world, and he's so good at just knowing how people work in history that he just becomes super powerful because he's introducing like common sense modern ideas to this medieval world. Like, damn, y'all gotta build some infrastructure in here. Just like, here's how you rotate crops so you can actually farm shit, you dum-dums. And he just has general modern world knowledge, and he uses that to make himself super powerful in this medieval fantasy world.
I feel like
it was really good.
Should know what you're talking about, but I absolutely don't.
I forgot what the name of it is. If anybody remembers out there, get at me in the comments
No,
or something
I have
because I
no
forgot what the heck the name of it is,
idea
but it's really
what you're
funny.
talking about. Um,
And then it turns into a harem because, of course, they all got to, and
most
he's
of them
just
do.
so good
Most of them
at
have
being
to,
smart that all the girls love him so much.
which is also
And it's so
ridiculous.
ridiculous. I know. It's so
Har-
ridiculous that you can't help but watch it. I feel like that's anime in a
Harem
nutshell.
animes in general are all ridiculously stupid as well. Because
yeah, the
not
protagonist
not
just
only are you now saying that all the either the guy's overpowered and all these people are doing this, but this guy is so smart that he's so dense on everything else, and it's the most it's the most ridiculous anime trope that I've seen so far, is that of how completely dense most of these main characters are in hero animes, but there's for some reason. Who the hell knows why they are the most genius person ever, but cannot understand simple life things, even though it's right in front of them. And there's so many other animes that do it too, but especially in harem animes, it's the
it's like
main
common
trope.
sense is just thrown out the window. Like who needs it? Because it's a very not common sense situation. It's a dude who is and it's always in these harem animes, the main character can never pick one girl or whatever, and he kind of just is like, all these girls are in love with me. What do I do? I don't know.
That is a different one too. Because those are the two options. Either it's a harem anime where the person doesn't know who to pick, or it's a harem anime where the guy just doesn't understand that the girls like him.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty common. Yeah, like he doesn't know who to pick, or he just doesn't understand that.
Those are normally the two ways it goes. You can have the third way.
Back to Rent a Girlfriend.
Well, no, Rent a Girlfriend goes on the side of, it's an in between. Rent a Girlfriend goes on the side of he doesn't know who to pick, although he does. But that's the side it leans onto, is he doesn't know who to pick.
In those harem animes, there's always like a main ship that you can see coming like a mile away. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like this is the heroine. This is who's gonna end up with him. Like don't even question it. Like this is what's gonna happen. And there's always that character. It's very, very rarely that you'll see a harem anime where like all the girls have an equal shot and the character is just like, I pick this one. I think one of the animes that does that pretty out of the blue, crazy weirdly. There's this older anime I watched a long time ago called Shuffle. It was based off of a hentai visual novel, actually. So they kind of introduced all of these different girls and stuff like that. You know, you had the best friend girl, you had the um you know the I grew up with this girl kind of person, and
the
all these
childhood
different
friend
girls and
kind
things
of,
like that, the childhood friend trope. And this anime, like, so in the original visual novel, there's like all these endings to choose from, like depending on which girl you picked or whatever. And for this anime, they just decided Annie, Manny, Miny, Mo, threw a dart at the board, and just whichever girl that they hit, they just like went, well, we'll just do that ending because I like that ending. And it was just so random out of left field. He's like, I like this girl. And he gets with the super hyper happy sports chick, and it's so jarring. And this is a really old anime. I don't, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched this anime, go watch it if you haven't. It's really interesting.
If you even know which one he's talking about, because you haven't even named
it's called
it.
Shuffle with an exclamation point. And he gets with one of these girls, and the childhood friend girl, just because she was so into him, starts going nuts. Like, I'm talking, starts losing her mind. Like, I'm talking like she's like,
I'm sure he'll be back today. He really loves me. And she's like stirring an empty pot, trying to
What?
make some food. And it's just like an empty pot, and it zooms in on it. And she's just like staring off distantly. And it is, oh, it's something special.
It sounds
Oh,
like something special.
it's very, very weird in that once he chooses a girl, the other girls lose their shit.
Uh, and I that's
Which is more realistic,
it's
honestly.
it's interesting because there is like again with harem animes, I find there's two paths they either take. Either they do end up choosing someone,
Very rarely.
or they never choose somebody.
Yeah,
and
very
you,
rarely do
you
they
are
actually
left
end up
on
with someone.
cliffhangers for
Yeah.
centuries.
Well, they do that on purpose so that people can ship whoever they want with the main character, and
one
people
of the-
will
one of them
discuss it.
one of them that did it, although they again they created a movie and actually had an official ending to it, was the quintessential quintuplets.
Oh yeah,
That one,
I never watched the movie. I watched the series, and I know the movie came out, so no spoilers for me because I'm gonna watch that.
yeah. So there is an ending to it.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually, I didn't get to watch the movie. I only saw some stuff because I don't know when the movie's gonna come out on viewable.
Oh yeah,
because it was one of those that went in theaters, but I don't know when it's if or when
right.
it comes
When it's
out
going to be actually available on like Crunchyroll or something like that.
Exactly, but it did come out and it was very interesting, and but it also has a visual novel. So I was watching a bunch of these things, or sorry, a manga, not a visual novel, a manga about it.
Yeah.
That's based off of, and I was basically watching a couple of things because I was curious how it ended through the movie / how it's kind of comparison to the manga to kind of get a conception of it, and it's actually a really interesting kind of ending to it because and it makes sense. If you watch it and then you kind of understand the ending, it makes sense how it ends. But the reasoning for the pick and the reasoning for the others is quite interesting. No spoil. I'm trying to give no spoilers, but I will say there is an interesting aspect to it, and overall, it's actually really, I find it a pretty decent anime.
So for anybody who isn't familiar with it, Quintessential Quintuplets is literally a harem anime, but the girls that are all into the guy are quintuplets, and they all are they are all sisters, and they're all into him.
Yeah, essentially, they're all sisters. They all get him start tuning it. They all have different personalities, but they're quintuplets. They're all the same. They're all, and that's part of the plot line too. Is that the guy can't tell them apart because they're quintuplets. So obviously they define it enough for us to notice it. But his idea is that
they all have that one jarred me a little bit because he can't tell them apart, but they all have very obviously different hair color because the way they animated it, they drew the characters with different hair colors, the same different shades of the same color, so that you could tell them apart.
What I did like is that the fact that the way they do it to add it into the plot line where sometimes you cannot tell. There are points in that anime where they purposely make it so that you cannot tell who is who.
Who are we talking to right now? I don't know.
Yeah, and it leaves you on your own mystery of finding out who the actual person is that is going on.
Some girl, just in this example, some girl will just be dressed as whoever, and you won't be able to tell them apart, and they'll confess their love to him, and he'll be like, which girl was it that confessed their love to me? Who is it? Something like that. Yeah, which is cool. It's a very interesting dynamic to the harem genre where they're all quintuplets.
It added a really unique kind of thing to it.
So we've gone over rom-coms, isekais, harems. Now, we did briefly go over shonens and stuff like that, and shonens are a whole separate genre in themselves in terms of
You know, I've never been like a huge shonen fan, but I have watched a lot of them. Like I've watched My Hero Academia, I watched Demon Slayer, I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was way younger. Like I would get home from school and Dragon Ball Z would be on and I'd be like, "Yeah, let's watch him scream at the screen for for another half hour. Hell yeah." Which even when I was younger, I watched Dragon Ball Z, but it frustrated the ever living crap out of me about how much filler there was. Like how much of it. I don't mind shonens. I don't mind the way that um that it works with a power creep and them getting stronger and the main character who doesn't have a lot of flaws and blah blah blah. Uh, I do hate filler. I hate filler in anime so much. I am so
Oh,
when the camera
the,
pans over a character that's talking to themselves, I rage at the screen.
see,
I am so upsetty spaghetti.
See, it's very interesting because like that's especially with like Dragon Ball Z and things like that, where it's like it's in like Pokemon and everything, where it's just like it's meant for a TV show. There is so much
Yes.
filler you can have, whereas because
Try and
anime,
lower the animation budget.
yeah, but because like especially things that are posted online or you can stream are only like 13 episodes. You normally have like I'd say like 3 to 4 ish filler episodes, which kind of sucks because that takes about a quarter, if not more, of the actual episodes. But there isn't too like normally you can get over those to the actual main plot line and everything.
Yeah.
But like because the things like Dragon Ball Z and everything are meant to have like 30 episodes going over 5 seasons, they need filler.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, but that's a case of quantity over quality, right? That's like we need episodes for TV. We need people to keep, it's all about the balance for them. It's how much filler and cheap animation can we put in there versus actual story progression. Because with a shonen, the thing I hate about it is that if you progress the characters too much, if you have so much story and you don't waste anybody's time, you have a shorter show and you don't have anything to broadcast and people aren't going to continue watching it because they will just be like, I finished the show, I watched it, you know, and things like that. Whereas if you have um you know and then you've got the other side where the animes are quality over quantity, where there's like 12 episodes but it's like a complete anime with like really high production values and stuff like that. And in my case, I like quality over quantity. I don't want something just to eat my time away, wasting my time as side character way off in the distance is dealing with a whole plot that you don't give a crap about just so you can get to the good stuff. I just want the good stuff. Give me the good things. I want to see the main character overcome a weakness or progress the story in some way. I don't want to see side character, Z over here fighting some random bad guy that no one gives a shit about because they don't want to progress the plot too fast. That's just a waste of my time. And I just don't like the way shonens waste my time. I don't want my time wasted. I want to watch anime.
Do you
I want to have a
have a
good time.
favorite shonen?
I feel favorite shonen.
That fulfills all those things, that it's not too much filler, it's got some character progression.
Does One Punch Man count as a shonen? I
know.
don't think One Punch Man counts as a shonen.
You would know better than I do.
One Punch Man was one of my favorite animes, the first season anyways. The second season sucked. Because One Punch Man is a series that takes all those tropes that you see in like shonen animes. Thank you, Rel. Thank you for the hydration. I'm gonna count this as hydration. This is just Diet Coke. So
Vodka.
this will be
Guide
my
vodka.
It's not. There's no drinking in this, but
Waffles is getting screwed
This will
up
be my
already.
hydration. I think just hey, you know what I think about anime is I like the animes where they drink a lot of sake. Yeah. No. But I think uh One Punch Man I loved because
Waffles is an alcoholic.
it was a this isn't why it's just soda, it's just Diet Coke. There's no vodka. It's just Diet Coke. Although I did throw, okay, little secret. I threw a cough drop at the bottom and it dissolved. Because I don't want to be coughing my entire butt off this entire
It's
episode.
rum.
So it's rum. I wish I could buy rum. I can't afford rum. At least good rum. I can't afford good rum. That's why I buy vodka, because it's the cheap stuff.
Waffles just came back from a trip. He can't afford anything.
Yeah, I can't afford it. I spent all my money on my trip for 3 weeks going over to Sugar's house. I'm going to be poor for a while, so it's vodka from here on out. But back to One Punch Man. That is an anime that like destroys all the tropes of shonen. It takes those silly shonen tropes and like turns them on their head. The main character, it's kind of reverse one, where the main character, instead of the character starting out really weak and getting stronger and fighting progressively harder bad guys, it's the opposite. The main character is already the most powerful person in the world. He's already OP as hell. He can literally one punch anything and they die immediately. So the entire goal for him is because he's so powerful, he's trying to find a reason to exist pretty much. He's trying to find his humanity, because once you become so powerful and there's no challenges anymore, you kind of lose your humanity a little bit. And it's him trying to find a challenge, so to speak, and really get in touch with, you know, what it means to be a hero. Is it about, you know, getting really high ranks in these shonen animes and getting really strong and fighting the strongest bad guys? Or is it just being a good person and being there and helping somebody when they need help? Because one of the best characters in it is Mugen Rider. What is just a guy who rides a bike around. That's his only power, is he rides a bike really fast.
Zoom, zoom.
Yeah,
Zoom,
but he's
zoom.
always there to like help people when they need it. Even if he's just there on a bike and he literally has no strength, no powers, no nothing. He's there
He just
to
goes zoom, zoom.
help people. Yeah, he just goes zoom zoom. And here One Punch Man is like, yeah, he's super powerful, but he's never there on time and he's never there to help people when they actually need it. Until like he always comes in at the last second and stuff like that. So it's like it's kind of like what it truly like, what does being a hero really mean? Is it mean being the strongest, the best there ever was? Or does it mean just being there when people need you? And it kind of it's I love it because it takes all this shonen tropes of like the bad guy monologue, and he's like, I am the greatest who has ever lived. I will destroy your civilization. And instead of letting him like finish his monologue, Saitama, the main protagonist, will just like he'll just be like, I am the greatest at and he'll just like explode because the main protagonist punched him mid monologue, and he'll just be like, all right, moving on. I gotta go get some lunch. I'm really hungry right now. And it just takes all
So
these tropes and
casual.
throws them on their heads. And like all these other people are like struggling, and they're like, oh, we're never gonna defeat this bad guy. Oh my god, what do we do? And then Saitama's just like, hey, I'm here. I'm just gonna punch him now.
just
Okay,
gonna
bye. It's so funny. It's the best one. And then season 2 happens. and it turns into the exact thing it was trying to make fun of.
That turns
It
into the
turns
exact
into
thing
that.
you don't want it to be.
It becomes about the other characters and not about One Punch Man, and it's just about everybody else's struggles, and you're like, well, I guess we'll just stop here. Because it just becomes a shonen, and nobody wants to see the bad guy or the good guy become the villain. So uh yeah, they never continue the series because season 2 did not get a lot of hype. Also, the animation was bad. But that's my One Punch Man rant. That's where we're going. That was my rant about my favorite shonen, One Punch Man. That is not a shonen. It's the opposite of a shonen. It's the anti shonen.
Okay. Is there anything we missed that you want to go over? Because again, you're the anime expert here. So there are
Well,
gonna be topics that I don't know what to cover that
okay,
you may
so we
know.
covered genres. Let's see, we've got rom com, we got shonen, isekai, um, harem. I guess I'll count that separate from rom com. Harem is super
fantasy-ish,
popular. Fantasy.
kind of. We touched on it, not really going to.
I guess adventure is, or I guess just a typical adventure anime. And adventure is a really encompassing category, more like action or like where stuff's always happening and it's not about any of that stuff. It's not about the romance. It's not about gaining power. It's just an actual story, an actual story that happens, which is actually few and far between. Where there's no isekai, it's just a crazy story. I just watched one recently called Summertime Render. That one, that was trippy. That
Trippy?
one is weird. It starts off in one direction and then it completely shifts direction to this like, oh fuck, there's some like alternate dimensional beings here to literally eat the town or something, and this character's got to stop it. And his one power is if I die, I get to start over again. It's very much ReZero.
Oh, I was gonna say, isn't that like ReZero kind of?
Yeah, it's like ReZero, but it's much more.
You die, you start over.
Yeah, it's much higher stakes. I would say than ReZero, where the main character he starts over, but every time he starts over, it progresses a little bit, so he starts over like 5 minutes ahead and then another 5 minutes ahead, so he has a limited amount of start overs and it's always progressively farther, and it's a very interesting anime. It's very strange. The bad guys make no sense whatsoever. And he's got to figure out how the fuck these no sense bad guys work, and it's weird.
It
Watch
sounds
it.
weird.
It's really cool. It's really weird, but it's like intriguing and engrossing in that you have to figure, like, he's got to solve these conundrums. Like, okay, I went back in time. Now we got to figure out how to solve this optimally before I die again and get as much done as I can. And things get progressively harder and more difficult, and the window of opportunity closes, and it's really good. It's a really good pacing. I literally can't talk about the anime too much or else it's spoilers.
Spoils
Even what I've
everything.
said so far is huge spoilers. So I won't say anything other than watch that shit. It's so good.
You know what? One I actually recently watched and is actually pretty good, and it's definitely a little bit different from, like, it's slice of life, but it's definitely a little bit different from everything.
What's that?
It's Bocchi the Rock, like
Oh, slice of life.
slice of life.
That's a different anime genre we didn't talk about.
This is like if you ever watch Bocchi the Rock, it is a great music and a slice of life kind of anime, because basically what it does is it takes. Have you seen it, Waffles?
I haven't seen Boji the Rock. No.
So Bocchi the Rock basically is a slice of life taking place in basically high school, kind of middle school. It takes place in high school basically. Bochi, or I don't remember what her actual name is. I can't remember. I can't remember what her name is.
It's Bochi. It's in the title. It's Bochi.
Yeah, it's her nickname. She basically is, as most people, as introverts, you can people, or she's a shy person who is very to herself.
Yeah.
Basically, and at some point she was watching a show with her parents, and then they had a band on, and it was the band. One of the band members like, "Oh yeah, I was that shy person in the back of the
Oh, it's a slice of life band anime.
yeah, of the room," and that hits hard with her. So she gets her dad's guitar.
Are all the bandmates girls?
Yes.
Okay, I get it. Okay. Yep. That might as well be a whole genre in itself too, is a band, a bunch of girls get together and make a band anime. There's a lot of those. K-On! Immediately comes to mind. There's a whole bunch of those,
Yeah, but yeah, it basically progresses kind of through it. The animation is pretty good too, and if you look into it, like the actual fingering that they use, like the way they play.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into that animation, right?
It's accurate. Like, it's not just like, oh yeah, they're playing some kind of notes. Like, they are literally playing the notes that would correlate.
The camera like pans in on their fingers, and then you'll see them like actually like fingering the actual notes, and you'll be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa, they put some budget into this.
Yeah, and like the strumming, like everything is like animated to be perfect. Like, it's a little detail that you might not notice, but it's accurate. It's not just, oh yeah, they're playing a note. Who cares what note it is? It's, as long as you get it done. It is an accurate representation of
like
someone.
They recorded somebody actually playing this song on guitar,
and then just translate it to someone animating it to make it like play the notes. Like, the fret is the right frets and everything.
I always love those like little detail in anime. I think the little details go a long way, because like, if you just wanted a story, you might as well just have a live action, blah, 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 or read a manga or something like that. But, anime is different in its quality. One, it's got voice actors and stuff like that, which adds a lot. And two, there's a lot to be said in the quality of animation. And it really does, like, you see something like that. You see, like, these little tiny things, like them playing guitar notes, the actual frets and things like that. And you're kind of like, whoa, that's cool. Like, that really looks interesting. The way they animated that was like, how much budget did they spend on that? And that's really cool to me. Like, if I had seen the same thing as a real life person playing guitar, I mean, yeah, it's cool. Obviously, anybody who can play guitar, really awesome. But the fact that they took the time out of their way and like animated somebody, riffing on their guitar, accurately playing it, it looks really cool, because it adds that much more.
Not to mention the music's great. The music is
great. And it kind of takes it adds that much more to like suspension of disbelief, where like you feel like these characters could be real, like there's actually playing this guitar and stuff like that, and then it goes to their anime faces with the huge eyes, and it's
and that's what it adds in too with Bochi. It's like, it adds comedy into there, because it's not just the standard art style that like that you see. Like, it adds in random elements. Like, it takes, like, in one of the scenes where she's going crazy because she's so shy that something happened, it takes it out of the anime life, brings it into real life, where they do some stupid kind of thing, and it teleports you back to the anime style. Like, it's stupid in that way, but it's creative.
It is creative, and you could tell they put like passion into it, right? And the animators wanted to make something special.
I think that one came out last season or something like that, so it's really good. I like it.
They wanted to make it really cool and stuff. But yeah, that's a whole genre. Slice of life is a pretty big genre that I totally forgot about. And there's even whole subgenres of slice of life, like cute girls doing cute things, where it's just girls being moe, which is essentially just a really cute anime character.
or a
Yeah.
really cute anime thing.
Like you're
as,
speaking about, like My Dress Up Darling is, I think, a slice of life that counts under slice of
yeah,
life.
My Dress Up Darling, slice of well, it's rom-com.
It's rom-com
I
slice
would
of life, I
say.
think.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
A bit of
I
both.
feel like those are interchangeable a lot of the time too, because a lot of rom-coms are slice of life because it's all about the romance, and there's not really the
Which
plot development is the romance.
I recently found out that, speaking of that, the English VA for that is a VTuber.
That's funny.
I did not realize that. I recently found
For
that
which
out.
one? My Dress Up Darling?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I watched it in subs.
The English VA is like, not that I would have paid attention to it. I just saw it somewhere. Is a VTuber. I did not know that until recently, which is interesting because, not surprisingly, a lot of, especially English dubs, a lot of them reuse VAs.
VTubing is a whole
but
this whole separate genre in itself, in a way where now we're getting at that age in virtual, I want to say virtual reality, but like you can track yourself so well now that you can just become an anime character and broadcast yourself. So now,
Waffles
anime's
the
reached a
anime.
point where there's literally live anime people, which is just mind blowing to me.
Waffle. This is where
as a
Waffles announces
boomer.
his transition to a VTuber.
Yep, I'm gonna be a VTuber Waffles. I'm gonna have an anime Waffle is gonna be my character, and he's gonna be super kawaii desune. And I'm just gonna like shout random Japanese phrases while I
Give us a taste
play a
of what
video
you would
game.
shout, Waffles.
Shit, all I've got on my head is kawaii desune, because kawaii arigato. That's all I know right now.
Kawaii
Kawaii
desune.
desune. That's all I know. Honestly, I can like I've watched so many sub animes that like I can understand a lot of what they're saying without any subtitles, in terms of just, if it's not a complicated sentence, I could usually understand what it's saying. But you ask me to remember how to say any of that, and I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a one way thing. I can repeat them like a parrot, but if you ask me to actually speak Japanese,
Waffles wants a cracker.
Like,
Waffles
no.
wants a cracker.
Waffles wants a cracker. That's my VTuber persona. I'm just gonna be a parrot.
You're just gonna be a parrot.
Waffles play video game. Waffle want cracker. Right, feed Waffle.
No.
Right, feed Waffle subs.
Sub to Waffles.
Right, Waffle wants subs.
Give Waffles subs. There we go. Follow Waffles
follow
at
me on
Waffles for
Twitter.
Chumps, which we haven't talked about. We went kind of into it, but we didn't really fully talk about it. So I'm gonna go very quickly off track just to promote this.
Yeah.
But after last episode, again, if you haven't watched it or listened to it, go give us a follow and go re-listen to it on the other platforms. But Waffles, after that, with Sugar's help, expanded to most, if not every other platform, to actually
starting to get on social media.
Posting stuff.
Sugar's been helping out a lot with that and helping me get into the digital age. And so I've got a Twitter account now, and that's right.
No. Don't say it like you haven't had a Twitter account before. You started to use your
There's
Twitter
actually
account.
things going on my Twitter account.
You started
now.
to use your Instagram.
The Twitter
you created a TikTok. Like, that's the key here, is that you created a TikTok. You started to use Instagram and Twitter because you had both of them before.
Yeah, I did. I had I had them before. I just didn't
didn't use them. So
didn't use them.
Waffles is now on essentially every platform, mainstream platform other than
Yes,
Facebook.
Sugar is doing a lot of work maintaining that for me. I have her to thank for it because boy, am I bad at that stuff. I am not good at social media, so Sugar is helping me out a lot with that, which I highly appreciate.
So if you haven't and you want to go follow him on his social media where he is a little bit more active, posting a few different things and notifications and updates, that's how you would have either seen that we are streaming today. It's supposed to be at 6, wasn't at 6, but it's supposed to be at 6 p.m. EST. And Waffles does post that on his Twitter. If you go follow him, but you can go follow him on every platform or Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Waffles for Chumps. He's actually posting stuff. What an amazing thing!
I've got the Twitter, I've got all the things, the Instagram and the Twitter and the TikTok, and things are happening. And eventually, I'm going to be editing. I want to edit YouTube videos and have those a little curated and stuff. So we're working our way up. We're working our way towards
being professional.
I don't know.
Waffles is
Whatever.
going to be a professional streamer, everybody.
We're working our way towards something.
Professional streamer Waffles.
Yeah, sure. We'll call
We'll
it that.
see it down the line. Professional streamer Waffles, who's got like over 1 million subs, 1 million followers. I don't know where I'm going with this.
1 million of everything. Yes, super popular Waffles for Chumps. Go follow me on all the platforms. Yes. Go find me where I
Waffles will never be
make
pro.
an idiot of myself live on television. I mean, computers. I don't know, unless you watch Twitch on television. I think you can. I think there's smart apps out there that let you watch it on television.
Well, there's apps, but you wouldn't technically be on TV in a way. Like you'd be on a TV, and somebody could be watching this right now on a TV, but you're not the TV you're talking about.
Come into a
theater near you. Waffles is gonna be on.
Come into a yeah, that's right. I'm going to the big screen.
Waffles the movie.
Waffles the movie.
Waffles for Chumps the movie.
Just me staring into the camera and flexing for.
All right, do it right now.
Hours.
Give us a teaser. If you are listening to this audio, please go watch it on YouTube, the VOD. Yeah, I promise you, it is worth it to see just that. Anyways, we're moving back to the anime side of things, where Waffles is continuously looking like an idiot, as he always does. But we do need to continue to proceed.
I'm practicing for my role for Waffles the movie. I want to make this is my final goal in life. That's my bucket list.
Be on the big screen.
Waffles the movie, the final waffle to out syrup them all. No, Waffles the movie, the final flex. That's what I want. The final flex.
Boom! Waffles just explodes at the end of it.
And that's the end. The end. I just get on screen. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Waffles for Chubs. I do one flex and then I disappear.
And then he explodes.
Yep, and then
never seeing Waffles again.
Oh, I'll make it a snuff film where I just that's how I just explode myself, and that's how I go out. I just take myself out.
Where is this going? Where is this?
That's how I want to go.
Going? You want to go out exploding?
Yeah, who's come out with a movie like that? Nobody. Nobody's exploded themselves. Well, okay, I take that back.
I think anyone who's attempted to do that probably didn't get their stone on knives on a movie screen.
But like, no, that's I would want it on theaters, and I would make it look like I didn't actually die, but then like years later it would be revealed that I actually exploded myself. People were like wondering where I was after the movie was released, and I was just like, oh yeah, he's on vacation somewhere. But like people didn't know about it, but I actually just like, hey guys, it's me, Waffles for Jump.
Moving on, moving back to our topic of anime, because apparently that does happen in anime too, where people just explode.
Could you imagine just going to a theater?
No, I
and,
can't.
like, it's only like 15 seconds long. There's just this guy going like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And they just explode out of nowhere.
No, I can't. No, I honestly can't, because I can't imagine someone approving that.
I'd pay a theater off just to play it.
You wouldn't get any large theaters. You get some kind of
Waffles
small
Explodes the movie. If I became like really like a millionaire or something like that, that's what I would do. I would pay off a theater so that people would just go like, Waffles Explodes. What movie is that? Yeah, I'll take 2 tickets to Waffles Explodes.
You need like slow motion camera so that it's extended for like over like a couple minutes, just of different angles of it and all different speeds.
Yeah. It's just the same explosion, but over the course of an hour and a half. They've all got their popcorn and their snacks. They go to sit down. It releases on Independence Day.
What?
It plays like Star Spangled Banner in the background. Or like Stars and Stripes Forever. Okay, I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent. That idea just killed me so much. I just had to throw it out there.
So if you ever see it in theaters, here's the idea behind it, the behind the scenes kind of how the idea started.
Oh my god. Yes. Yes. If you ever see a movie called Waffles Explodes, probably don't buy tickets to it.
I don't even
Anyways,
know where
back
to
to
go
anime.
from
I'll try, you know, since I careened us off track, I'll try and do the job of navigating us back.
I don't know how to get us back. That's the issue.
We went okay, so
Oh,
we
don't
covered
try to
genres.
retrace it.
Slice of life, isekai, rom-com, shonens, harem,
Adventure, slash fantasy.
adventure-y, action-y, fantasy kind of genre, which is just a whole genre in itself. Here's the thing about anime, right? Like, it can never just be a normal story. It always has to be something like there always has to be something stupendous happening.
Well, yeah.
Because
Well,
I think that animation lends itself well to crazy shit happening. Like, that's the difference between an anime and a real life show. You know, like real life people is anime can do things people can't.
By the way, I'm gonna call this episode Waffle. Waffles Explodes the movie.
Waffles Explodes the movie. Yeah, can we just call that the podcast name? The episode name is Waffles Explodes the movie. Anime edition.
Animate.
Yeah, and they animate me for the movie. They specifically go out of their way to animate me exploding.
We wanted to do it. We wanted to do a VR chat podcast edition. We never did that, did we?
Oh, we never did. Yeah, no, that'll be in the reboot somewhere.
Maybe.
We can do another talk about VR and stuff like that and see where it's come from here. Have I been on about the Pokemon animes? The Pokemon animes were kind of my first introduction to anime as a kid because
you recently
I was a 90s kid.
Streams with Astra on naming Pokemon. How did that go?
Oh, that was amazing.
How torturous was that? Because I can guarantee you it would be, because I would have do the same to you. Because I got
as someone who's like, I grew up with Pokemon. I started with Pokemon at a very young age. You know, right? I was there at its inception. I was around when Pokemon was invented. When Pokemon Red came out, I had a Pokemon Red on Game Boy, and it was the coolest shit.
and it wasn't even in color. There was no such thing as color Game Boys. Uh, and you got a Pokemon, and it would just go beep beep boop boop beep beep, and that would be the Pokemon you caught. It would be beep boop Pikachu.
Peep poop
Um,
Pikachu.
Beep boop Pikachu, and back then, like, Pikachu wasn't even the mascot. Pikachu ended up being the mascot because people liked it. Uh, the mascot at the very beginning was Charizard and Blastoise. Um, but Pikachu wasn't even around. Like, it was a little fat, chubby electric mouse that you just randomly caught in the game. And then they just decided everyone liked it so much that it would be the mascot of the series. Um, but going through Pokemon, it wasn't until the anime that Pikachu really, really got popular. Like, when they decided Pikachu should be the main character in the anime, that's what made it the the series mascot. Like, that's what really put forth the mascot of Pokemon. And the Pokemon anime. Let me talk about the Pokemon anime for a second.
Wait, is there a difference between the Pokemon anime and the show?
No, the Pokemon anime is the show. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, is there a difference?
Yeah.
It's like, did they make a specific one that's called the Pokemon the anime or something like that?
Oh, I guess I should talk about yeah. So when I was with Astra, I had she has no idea what Pokemon are, and
I
I
don't
had
either.
her name off every single Pokemon. And I would just show her a Pokemon, and I would be like, "What do you think this one's name is?" Half the time, she would just go, "That's Hippopotamus Boy," or "That's Gopher Boy," or something like that. They would just name random animal that the Pokemon was based off of, and then boy afterwards. Um, but seeing the names she did come out with was actually really funny. If some of them were really close to the actual Pokemon, and I don't just
Could you
introducing somebody to Pokemon for the
could,
first time who has no idea what any of the Pokemon
could
are
you
is
see
amazing.
that the name that she listed off be changed, possibly to that if it
Oh, there
wasn't
was
named its
one.
own wasn't already?
Yes, there was a few where I was like, "Whoa, that's a much better name than whatever the hell they came up with." Because some of the names are just really, really derpy. There's a bunch. I can't come up with any with off the top of my head.
Because again, I've not watched Pokemon. Like again, this goes back to like the conversation prior where I haven't watched anime of any kind. Like I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z. I didn't watch Pokemon. None of these things I watched growing up, which did not help me try to get into anime basically because I basically jumped in
Yeah.
with absolutely not no knowledge, and obviously being within the community of like VR chat and stuff, I had knowledge what anime was. I had a good sense of what to kind of expect, but never actually fully watched any episodes or got into anime. Like it was kind of watching it was kind of diving a little bit headfirst into it with very minimum knowledge because I didn't like the style of animation. I didn't
Right.
watch it at all prior. So Pokemon isn't something that I watched or played or anything. I didn't see a reason at the time to do so. So I would be the exact same as Astrid, naming a bunch of random crap that I saw.
Just whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like
you
that's
show
the way
me
they
a
came up with
picture
a
and
lot
I'd
of
be
names.
like,
It was
well,
just like, oh man, this one looks like a
blobby
uh,
blob.
I mean, that's essentially. I
Slime
mean,
dude.
this one looks like a mime. His name is Mr. Mime. Like, that's one of the Pokemon's name is just Mr. Mime, and yep, that's his name, Mr. Mime. And he looks like a mime, and that's what he do. But the anime, so I had played the games, and then the trading card game came out not too far after, and it slowly but surely got super popular after the games came out and the trading card gaming came out, and then the movies came out, or the anime, I mean. Um, and I was just so hyped to see these little creatures that I loved in this Pokemon game that I loved so much, see them like
in action. See like somebody going around, being a trainer, catching them. You got Cheerios?
I was hiding
I
them
just seen
underneath.
you hold up a box of Cheerios as you're like nomming down.
I was hiding. I
Oh,
was just, I wanted to see what
me
your
want
reaction was.
Cheerios. Ooh, me want Cheerios.
I wanted to see what your reaction would be if I wasn't showing it on stream.
Yeah,
Anyways, your
it
Pokemon.
was it was it was just cool to see all these Pokemon end up on the big screen. Um, Now Pokemon, it being on the TV and animated and stuff like that, is no big deal to me. So I haven't really watched the anime at all.
It's still
Or
going.
oh yeah, it's still going. In fact, they're finally retiring Ash.
For
Ash Ketchum,
what?
the main protagonist of the Pokemon series, who's been 10 years old for his entire life. Um, finally he won something, and he's done. He's retiring. They're making a new main character for the Pokemon series for their next season.
Does it look
But
like it
yeah,
has
it's
potential?
still going on. I don't know. Honestly,
See, again,
I
this
I
is how
cannot
little I
say
know
so far.
about Pokemon in general. Is that I didn't even realize this show was still showing.
Oh yeah, it's still going on. Oh boy, they're still making episodes. Yep. And it's been Ash Ketchum since day one. Has been the main protagonist of the Pokemon series. Um he is still the exact same person that he was when the show started. And I would definitely classify Pokemon as a shonen anime because man, nothing happens in the Pokemon anime. Team Rocket is still Team Rocket, which are the main antagonists. Uh, they get defeated every episode except for a few. Um, they win sometimes, but for the most part, it was a very formulaic episodes. It was very just Ash fights Pokemon, Team Rocket tries to capture Pokemon, they blast off again, and somebody is happy that Ash helped their Pokemon out. The end. And that's been pretty much the Pokemon series the entire time. You don't want to watch more. Sir Francis, I don't want to watch more Pokemon anime because I just love the Mewtwo movie. Oh, you mean the recent 3D one, or do you mean Detective Pikachu? I love Detective
Did we
Pikachu.
watch that together? Is that the one we
Mhm.
watched together?
Yep, you and I watched that together.
When did we
You
watch that?
joined. That
Was
was a
it
community
was
night
it a
I did
community
when
night?
we were
See,
on
I can't
Discord
even
with
remember. I just
everybody.
remember we watched it and we just were laughing. I remember watching it with somebody. I just can't remember when.
The original Mewtwo movie. The original animated one. Oh, yeah, that one was cool. That was the first one where like Ash was actually in trouble with anything, and there was actually stakes to the Pokemon universe. Because up until that point, it was just like, oh, these derpy Team Rocket guys are trying to steal Pokemon again. But then the Mewtwo was like, I'm gonna destroy the
I'm
world.
gonna.
Screw you guys. And then Ash was like, oh shit. And that was so cool to me that he actually had to like save actual things that mattered
Save
instead
the
of
world.
yeah, instead of derpiness. Now he's like saving the world on a regular basis, uh but yeah, the Pokemon series hasn't really gone anywhere for me. The anime, it's just more of the same exact thing. Nothing really happens. So I don't know. I haven't been following it. Uh, they did release some like short anime one-off episodes about different characters, and that was actually good. Like they were actually really high quality, and there was like one where like a girl's training with her Machamp and stuff, and she's like forming a bond, and there's actually like plot and stuff. It's those are really good, but Ash Ketchum needs to die. And I'm so glad they're getting rid of it. And that's all I can say about Pokemon.
So we'll move back into something else to kind of continue / end off on some stuff, is there any anime you're watching right now?
Anime that I'm watching right now. I'm rewatching a few anime with Sugar because she hasn't seen some anime.
What are you rewatching?
I'm watching Jobless Reincarnation right now. It's an isekai. I got some. It's very. That one is crazy in terms of the depth of world building that it presents.
If
It
it's
is
the one I'm thinking about, it's an interesting isekai, and it's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Interesting world building, because I think it basically is it the one that just that halfway through it just throws you into a completely different world?
No,
Something
not
like-
halfway through. No, Jobless Reincarnation is where it's a 30-year-old neat shut in jobless guy dies. Guess what? He gets hit by a truck. He gets reborn from a babo. Like, he starts off in the new world as Babo. But he still has his 30-year-old mind. So it's a 30-year-old man, but he's like growing up um in this new world, and he discovers more about it and stuff like that, and they present it in such a way that the world feels very, very real. Like, it does have some anime tropes and stuff in it, but like they dive into a lot of lore in the world, and he slowly like discovers it and stuff. But it's really jarring because he's a 30-year-old dude, and he's a horny 30-year-old dude.
So,
and so
just
like,
imagine Waffles being thrown into a
pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's very weird. It's very like, yeah, he's a 30-year-old guy in a child's body, but he's still kind of. It's very the
Just
way they
imagine
present
Waffles
it,
being thrown
it's
into
so
being isekai.
jarring sometimes. Like, it'll be like, oh, it's so in depth, it's so real and stuff, and look at all this lore and how beautiful this world is that they created, and then he'd be like, look, it's a woman with boobies. I like boobies.
Plot. Here's the plot.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. But if you can get past that part, which is just very jarring sometimes, if you can get past that, it's a very cool in-depth anime, and I absolutely adore it. It's
watch it.
very detailed and stuff.
What else? Is there anything else?
Anime. Hold on, let me look at my anime folder that I've got of anime that I want to watch. Let's see. I've got anime. Here we go. I just watched Overlord recently,
I have not watched
which
that
is
one yet.
another weird. It's a weird take on isekai. I won't say it's a weird take on isekai. It's a pretty basic isekai. He gets transported to another world, and he is super overpowered, and he's got his level 5 billion character from the game he was playing is transported to the other world, and except for in this one, he's a bad guy.
Oh.
It's kind of a reverse in that the main character
Is the bad
is the bad dude. He's kind of just he's a necromantic overlord, and he's not really a bad guy. I'll say he's more of a neutral character. He can definitely do bad stuff, but he also does good stuff. So it's kind of like in between a little bit, but he is I don't know. It's a very weird anime. It's very interesting. Like, you'll be rooting for him 1 second, and then he'll just genocide a whole town the next, and you'll just be like,
genocide?
well, I was on your side, but that was kind of a dick move. So it's really jarring. You like really develop a connection with like his minions and stuff like that, and him, and then they
You really
murder
love you as
hundreds
a
of
character,
innocent
but that
people,
was
and you're just like, you're just like, Well, shit.
Like, you can be a really nice guy at sometimes, but honestly, that was an asshole move. If I'm being completely
Yeah,
honest.
that was kind of a dick move, dude. And yeah, that was an interesting anime. I've gotten through the next season of it, and it's really interesting. And that's all I can say is it keeps you interested. It's really good on building its world as well. That's the thing about a lot of isekais. Is what they do is they kind of that's the reason it's kind of an isekai, that the whole reason that plot hook works so well and that it's so popular is that it pulls a fully conscious character into a world, and they have to learn about the new world with you. They learn it with you, and they learn all the details about this new world, whereas opposed to another, just a regular fantasy where you're just thrown into this new world and they've got to figure out how to give you exposition without being stupid about
It's
it.
very interesting with isekai too, because it's not always are you thrown into a new world from a different world. It's sometimes you're thrown 2,000 years in the future, or something like that. From an old, you get isekai'd.
Reverse
basically.
isekai.
Well,
where
no.
you're
Well, no,
that'd
not,
be an
nec-
interesting.
not
I don't know if any
necessarily.
animes
It's not.
do that.
It's not necessarily reverse isekai. It's just, yeah. It's basically you died and you get now reborn to the same world, just in the future. Now, so now they're still learning about the new world because the new world's changed, but they've got reincarnated in a way in the same
Right,
world.
it's
Just
a totally different world, but it's more sci-fi.
Yeah.
In terms of a sci-fi isekai.
kind of sci-fi. I don't know.
Sci-fi isekai.
I just call it the fantasy because it's just all under the fantasy
Yeah,
kind of isekai.
That's true. That also works. Yeah, where you're just like completely in the future, but it's like a different. Oh man, I got frozen. It's like Futurama.
Well, no, it's literally an isekai where they're like, I've seen a couple where it's like they literally are dead, they or whatever,
Yeah.
and just get
They get
reincarnated.
resurrected.
Yeah, resurrected, reincarnated into a
Yeah.
whole new person as a new whole new
Oh,
person.
which one is that? Which one do you have a specific example?
One of them I know, which is on a second season, which I actually don't like the second season. It's kind of sucking right now.
Oh no.
The Misfits of the Demon Academy. I think
Okay.
that's what it is. Like, because basically
I haven't seen that one.
he's the demon lord, like in his previous life, and things are going, they're against the human world. The plot lines there. Basically, they're fighting against the human world, but they don't want to. So he sets a spell that basically gets him reincarnated, but he dies in the current state so that the current world can live. And both demons and humans can live
happily ever after.
quote unquote happily. But he sacrifices himself, and then he gets reincarnated some years later down the line, and now and things have changed.
In the future.
Yeah, things have changed. Like he's supposed
That's
to.
interesting.
He's overpowered. It's unsurprising. It's an isekai. But he's supposed to be the demon lord, but no one realized it's him. It's him because of the way it's set up, and things have changed. People don't realize that he's the true demon lord. But yeah.
See you, Sir Fan. Have a good one. But yeah, I would love to see like a reverse isekai where like a character from a fantasy world gets just randomly teleported into our world, and he's like, "What the?"
Well, isn't that the plot line of what the part-timer demon lord,
part-timer is a demon lord?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one, so maybe
that
sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure that's a reverse isekai. Is
it where he's like, I am the demon lord of this world, and
and then he gets
transported to the real world. I will take it over.
And then
funny.
Then he's forced to move on to the real, or something happens, and he's in the real world
so
now.
much. I'm gonna watch
that's
that.
why it's part like he's a part timer at a fucking McDonald's basically.
That's so funny. I gotta watch that.
But
I know they came out with like another season of it, and it's like a completely different animation company or something like that. And people were talking about it recently, but I've got to see that.
I watched part of the second season. I didn't get through the whole second season. I don't know why. I didn't really like it too
I
much.
kind of love that idea
Oh yeah,
of
you got
someone
you
the
literally got
reverse
reverse isekai basically.
Yeah.
Well, this entire community gets isekai basically. Like
He gets hit by a wagon instead of a truck.
well, no, that didn't happen. But
Gets
yeah,
run over by a horse and cart.
But yeah, no. That's if you want the reverse isekai, that's a reverse isekai.
Okay,
pretty
that's
sure.
cool. I will definitely have to check that one out.
I
I don't know why I
would only
haven't
watch
checked
the
it out.
first
It
season.
seemed like it was interesting. I think I didn't check it out because it never. I know there was only like the one season of it and it never continued. And I was like, well, I just don't want it to leave me on a cliffhanger forever. And that's one thing that drives me nuts about anime. I love anime so much.
You never
and
know
it's great.
if it's ever gonna have another season because it depends how
Yeah.
well it does.
They end them on
if the company
cliffhangers
wants to
half
do
the
it.
time.
Well, because they want it to be another season. They want another season if they can get it. It's so they leave you on a cliffhanger in anticipation that there's another season, but it sometimes doesn't happen because either it doesn't do well or if it
well
they just don't renew the contract or whatever the case is.
A big thing about anime is a lot of anime is very expensive to produce, and a lot of times, especially in the Japanese market, the anime doesn't sell as well as the manga that it's based off of does. So in a lot of these cases, you'll get the manga where they produce the anime almost to help sell the manga. Like that's the entire goal of the anime is to promote the manga. So you come out with like a season of it, right? And people are very interested and it gets them to want to continue it. And since there's no other season of the anime, people pick up the manga and it's much cheaper to produce a manga than it is an anime. And you've got all these people buying the manga and there's no point in continuing like why would you come out with another season of the anime if you're making all this money off the manga you know until you need money for the manga again, in which case you come out with a second season of the anime and then people pick up the manga again. So it's kind of like in the Japanese economy, that's the way like a lot of anime is just there to sell manga. So if you want the continuation of your anime, you got to go pick up the manga. Go buy the manga off the shelf. So we never get the finished product of the anime. That's why I love animes that like have a beginning and an end, because those are so freaking rare. Because they're not based off of mangas. They actually like there's very few animes that actually go through a complete manga series or animes that are not based
Well,
off
it
of
depends
manga.
too because a lot of I'm finding very commonly that if there is a based off a manga, it's possible that manga is still going on. So now they're half on catch up and half on we don't know when this is gonna end.
Yeah, and it's based on whenever the manga continues, and by the time the manga does continue, it's not very popular anymore, and then they never finish the anime, and it's like, I don't know. And then sometimes like it'll come out years later where like the manga has a cult following. They'll just be like, you know what? We wanted to pick this up again. Let's go. Like for instance, Devil is a Part-Timer. They just picked up the second season of that very recently, and it came out like 15 years ago. So like or 10 years ago or something. I think it came out in like maybe like 2015, 2016, something like that.
I got no clue.
So maybe not that long ago, but it was a while ago. And suddenly out of nowhere, they're like, yeah, we'll pick it up again. Let's go. Just out of nowhere, which is really funny sometimes. And you'll be like, oh, I was a fan of that. But I've already read the entire manga and I know where everything goes. Speaking of which, do you ever read manga or anything like that?
I have not read a manga yet. No.
Yeah, I've never really been big into manga. Reading is hard. I don't like books. I want all my stuff delivered to me on a screen with characters talking, and I feel like a lot of it can only be delivered if I've got it in the voices with the actual characters and the a lot of times I just like pretty animation. I just want the cool, beautiful animation thrown at me. So it never really got into manga.
No, I haven't hit there yet, so not sure where it's gonna be at, if I even ever will, but we will have to see.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're about 2 hours in. So I think
Wow, we're already 2 hours in.
think
I'm
we
just
can
getting
wrap it
started.
up
All
here.
right. Next 3 hours of anime discussion. Let's go.
next
So,
3 hours to
hentai.
5 hours. Oh, that's where we're going?
So, tentacle porn.
And now we're getting into Waffles fetishes. If
Yeah,
anybody
this is what
wants a
I've been waiting
list,
to
here we
talk
go.
about. Let's go. Tentacles, baby. I will throw out there the amount of tentacle stuff in anime is staggering. I don't know what it is with Japan and tentacles, but Japan, you gotta stop getting sexy with squids. I love calamari as much as the next guy, but damn. Damn, that's a lot of tentacles. It used to be a huge thing in the 90s too. Was all these ecchi animes would have you'd just be watching a harem anime, and then there would be a beach episode where just
Tentacles.
a giant octopus comes out of the water and just starts grabbing all the girls with tentacles, and that was the episode. Really popular. I don't know Japan. I don't know. I love Japan, but at the same times, I'm sometimes just like, why Japan?
Well, you love your
Japan,
tentacles, so
why?
clearly it works.
Clearly, they've implanted some subversive. Maybe Japan's just really into Cthulhu. Like maybe they're all secretly Cthulhu worshippers, and they're trying to promote Cthulhuism, but very subtly. Because now I have the subconscious image of tentacles implanted into my brain, and if I was suddenly attacked by, a Kraken or Cthulhu or something like that, it would kind of just be, it wouldn't be as stupendous or maddening. So I think Japan's
Waffles would
preparing
just
us
get
for
pleasure
something.
from any of that. Waffles is just looking for.
Ooh, woo! Don't grab me, tentacle. Oh, that'd be a whole different story. Pirates of the Caribbean
I
went a
don't
weird
know where
direction.
to even go.
Pirates of the Caribbean went a strange direction. Wasn't expecting this. Davy Jones.
Anyways, I'm gonna end it here.
Oh god.
I
Yeah, we'll stop it here.
think Waffles is going crazy
Uh,
from his
We'll just
from his
yeah,
cough
I
his
think that's a
cocktail.
good place to stop. Thank you, Bran, for indulging me in my
And your fetishes,
tentacle
apparently.
fetishes. Yeah, yeah. No, but it's really
What-
cool just talking anime. Like
What a weird
it's one
topic
of the
to
things
end
I
it
love
on.
watching. So.
Yes.
Japan can be amazing, but Japan can also be weird. It can also be very, very, very strange.
Anyways,
So go anime, because we all need a little weirdness in our life, and that's what I love about anime. Is you never know what you're gonna get because it's weird AF, and I love weird. That's the entire reason I want to watch anime.
on that note, thank you once again for watching whatever this was. Another episode of I Don't Know Anymore.
Yeah, tentacle time with Waffles for Chumps. Join me tomorrow as we indulge in our tentacle fans.
If
Alright, I'm
you're
gonna shut up
watching
now.
this on any of our other channels and you want to watch this live and us in misery, or at least me in misery, and Waffles doing whatever the hell he is,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
having a
go
great time. I don't know what you're talking
follow
about.
twitch.tv/waffles4chumps. And you can watch Waffles in his own time talk about his fetishes, as well as see this live every Saturday,
And
or
dance
every
to the Chica
other
dance and put a
Saturday.
wig on and
Yes, every other Saturday at 6 EST. Hopefully, we are on time. We are probably not most of the time. If you are watching this right now or on YouTube, you can also see it YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, all under the name WaffleBran Podcast. You can go anywhere and see the VOD from that at any of those sites there, or listen to it / watch it.
Yeah, go
This
check it
was
out.
another weird episode of the WaffleBran Podcast. We'll be back hopefully 2 weeks from now, which by my calendar is the 4th of March. So hopefully we'll see you then. If anything changes, go follow Waffles on Twitter and he'll let you know, or go see his Discord. All the links are in the description below. That's where I'll end it. Waffles, would you like
Sounds
to add
good.
any of your weird sense to this?
Yep, no, you pretty much covered everything. Watch me on Waffles for Chumps. I'm pretty much on I'm on TikTok. I'm not on YouTube yet. I've got Waffles for Chumps VODs if you want to watch any of my VODs on YouTube. But other than that, twitch.tv/Waffles for Chumps, and my Twitter's Waffles for Chumps. And
Once again,
that's my stuff.
Once again, I'm going to leave this episode very confused and concerned for my own safety. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah, tentacles.